All right, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Clay Smith here. It is 8:02. Wanted to hop on and give you an update on our storm alert weather day and talk about some things that are coming our way this week. Of course, we are tracking a big cold front that's moving through right now, and that's going to bring us some much colder temperatures today. Wind chills dropping into the 20s and teens. And then we're going to have the potential for some snow showers on the back end of this. So kind of a lot to talk about here over the next little bit. That winter storm is still impacting parts of Kentucky, southern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, up into parts of Maryland and southern New Jersey. So we are tracking out this impactful winter weather system, and it's just dropping snow, ice, just a mess. I think parts of southern Ohio, Cincinnati picking up upwards of 10 inches of snow, over 8 inches as of yesterday evening in Louisville. Parts of Kansas City picking up nearly a foot. So again, very impactful storm to our north. And as we kind of see this thing wrapping up later today, we'll have that back end trying to produce some snow showers here across the Tennessee Valley. So as of now, we don't have any active winter weather advisories, but we do have a wind advisory in effect for northeast Alabama and north Georgia. Gusts upwards of 30-35 miles per hour are going to be possible today, and even in southeast Tennessee, that's going to be something that we're tracking out as well. So here's a broad look at this system. Heavy snow on the back end. You see those snow showers starting to develop even as far south as central Mississippi, parts of Alabama, wintry mess into the D.C. and southern New Jersey area, and also you can see that low kind of pivoting on the backside. That's where we're seeing some of that moisture. So locally, I would expect some of those snow showers to start along the Cumberland Plateau and into northeast Alabama within the next couple of hours and continue through the early afternoon. And if we can squeeze out enough moisture from this atmosphere, we may even get a little of that flurry activity here in the valley as well. But not seeing a whole lot yet. But as we go throughout the day, I do anticipate those snow showers to start to fill in across middle Tennessee. It looks like there's some slick roadways out to our east into western North Carolina and some of the higher elevations and up into the northern part of the plateau. So that's something to be mindful of. And if we zoom out a little bit, just a snowy mess across portions of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia, up into Maryland and Pennsylvania. So the further north you go, you're going to run into some nasty weather. So try to reduce travel today. As for your temperatures, that cold front coming through earlier this morning when I got in, I would say around 4-ish. It was right around 50 in Altamont. Now it's below freezing. 43 here in Chattanooga, 40 in Lafayette. So that cold air is quickly arriving. Not going to get any warmer than this. In fact, temperatures will continue to drop throughout the day. We'll be down into the 30s with those snow showers during the afternoon by about 4 p.m. Wind chill of 20. Temperature of 33, going to continue to drop below freezing through the evening with those wind chills into the teens. And this is just for the valley. It's going to be even colder along the plateau and in some of our mountain communities. So take a look at these futurecast wind chills. By about 9-10 o'clock, wind chills dropping into the lower 20s. It'll feel like 20 in Athens at 1 p.m., 19 in Murphy, 10 in Altamont, and continuing through the evening, those wind chills drop into the teens, even here in the valley and across northeast Alabama. So some serious chill on the way for the rest of the day, and by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, of course, it's going to be very cold out there. Here's a look at your futurecast. Snow showers starting to develop as we continue through the mid-morning. Going to favor the Cumberland Plateau first, but northeast Alabama, as we can zoom out a little bit, you can see some of that blue showing up as far south as Birmingham. That's why I do think we'll have enough moisture for some of those snow showers to even push across the valley. So Cleveland, Athens, Chattanooga, Dalton. Don't bank on it, but it's a possibility that you get a few flakes and maybe even a quick dusting if we can get a quick persistent band moving through. I don't want to say quick persistent, but more of a persistent band moving through. And as we continue through the day, we'll have those snow showers. And a lot of times it's hard to pick up on the snow that's actually going to be falling because these high resolution models can't always pick up on some of this moisture because it's going to be so low to the ground. And sometimes you just don't see a whole lot on your futurecast while it might actually be snowing a little bit more in some of the higher elevations. So that'll be something to watch later on. Some of that mountain snow and plateau snow continues through the evening and then gradually tapers off overnight. So here's what I'm thinking as far as snow chances for today. Maybe a light dusting in the valley. Don't bank on that, but it's a possibility. Metro mountains, a dusting to maybe a 1/2 of an inch. In a plateau, some spots could pick up an inch, maybe even 2 in localized areas. So that's something I'll be watching for. It's probably going to be our winners as far as snow totals go. And then the Georgia and Alabama mountains, so Sand Mountain down into Cloudland Canyon, those types of areas could pick up a dusting to maybe a 1/2 inch as well. So that's just kind of a general idea. And you can see this on our snow map. Monteagle, Dunlap, up towards McMinnville, Middle Tennessee, right along the Tennessee-North Carolina line, a few areas down in Jackson County, northern Georgia, all going to have that potential for a little bit of snow accumulation today. Not going to be a major winter storm, but this could lead to some slick spots as temperatures continue to drop, especially along the plateau and down into northeast Alabama. And we'll have to keep a close eye on the radar later on to see how much moisture we're going to be working with. So there is a chance, again, we see some snowflakes a little bit later on today. And after this all moves out, it's just going to be cold. The rest of the week's going to be cold. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But we're going to be tracking the potential for another wintry event, and this one could be a lot more potential, or this one has a lot more potential, I should say, as we go into your Friday and Saturday. So looking pretty favorable at this point because the track is going to be right along the Gulf Coast. Cold air is already in place, and over the last couple of winters we've had these systems kind of spawn out of Canada and try to produce a low pressure across the southeast and then cut up across parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley. That's just not conducive for snow events here across the Tennessee Valley. This is going to be more of a Gulf tracking low where we've had some of those classic southern snows. Not saying this is going to be a big snow event. It may have freezing rain, sleet, and even cold rain on the table as well. A lot of details to iron out. So here's just a quick summary of what you might be able to expect. This is the GFS pushing that snow in during the morning on Friday. But notice how that pink line wavers. That's going to be your wintry mix. And then that green, the rain, because we are going to have strong southwesterly flow ahead of this, which is going to warm the temperatures a little bit. Still going to be close to freezing, and someone going to get all snow across the southeast. It just depends on where that line sets up and how that low tracks. I wish I had the exact details and I knew the exact track and who was going to get snow. It's hard to break the snow dome in Chattanooga. We know that. But it is a possibility we get some flakes flying, and then this all moves out as we get into Saturday. Now here's our European model. This brings in that snow early Friday, but a lot more mixed with this, especially on the southern end. But still that blue line going to be right along the Tennessee-Georgia line. And then as we continue throughout the day into early Saturday morning, this starts to exit out. So both solutions bring wintry weather here across the Tennessee Valley. Now this is a product from Weather Bell. This is our European ensemble, and the ensemble is just a collection of European runs with different starting conditions that the model ingests. So it gives us a variety of solutions that could happen. This is for level field, which is the Chattanooga airport. Nearly every run of the European has some sort of accumulating snow, which means, you know, the idea that we're going to have winter weather is starting to increase. And this is the GFS. Same thing. A lot of different runs of the GFS coming together to produce more of a average solution, and just about every run of the GFS for that Friday, Saturday time frame have us getting accumulating snow at level field. Of course, that's one single point, but it gives us a good idea because Chattanooga is kind of the center point of our local 3 coverage area. And here's the probability of 1 inch of snow using the GFS ensemble. About a 40 to 50% chance there, right along North Georgia into southeast Tennessee. The yellow is over a 60% chance. The red is pretty much a 100% chance of 1 inch of snowfall. But notice how that line goes all the way through central Georgia. So as we get closer to time, we're either going to see confidence increasing or decreasing. So far it's been increasing the last couple of days, and we're only about 4 days out from this event. So we're getting into range where I think we're certainly going to have that potential for winter weather. So here's our milk and bread-o-meter. I made this morning. Online chatter, been talking about it for weeks now. You've heard the chance for maybe a southern snow. Well, it is a possibility now. Trends are in our favor. We're not going to have any closings yet, but usually as we get closer to time, businesses take notes, schools take notes, and they start to send out closing or delays. We're not quite there yet. And then bread and milk flying off the shelves. Is we really going to have the snow coming? Is it really going to happen? Getting that bread, we're getting that milk. We're going to make some bread and milk sandwiches. And then snowmageddon. How often do we get that? Where we're having just a big winter storm with several inches of snow. shuts down the city because we just don't have the resources, and a lot of times it'll sneak up on us. So we're just letting you know that it's a possibility. Right now it's trending in our favor, but we're not quite to that bread and milk alert just yet. But that level may be coming depending on how the model runs average out today, tomorrow, and as we continue to get more data in. So of course we'll keep this updated and take a close look at your milk and breadometer in the days to come. But here's a look at our next winter threat. Track, again, is always crucial. The cold air is going to be in place, plus we have a pretty sufficient snowpack now to our north, so that air is not going to moderate as it moves down from Canada, which should keep it a little bit colder as this system moves in, because we are going to have highs in the 30s for much of the week. So if this takes more of a northerly track, again, the energy is coming out of the desert southwest after moving onshore to the west coast, and then it's going to produce a low pressure along southeast Texas or southern Louisiana. It's either going to ride up the coast and then cut up into the east coast, or it's going to cut up through parts of the southeast. That northern track, more of a mixed solution where we could get a little bit of everything, even some rain. That southern end, we have a better chance of staying all snow, and then maybe that wintry mix line is further to the south across central Georgia and central Alabama into the Carolinas. So there's several things that can happen. Right now, we're just letting you know the probabilities. It's hard to put out a snow map with specific amounts this far into the future, because we are going to make a lot of people mad when it doesn't snow, or if it snows more than we anticipate. Right now, we're just going to look at these trends, look at the data, and try to formulate a solution. I want to put out our first snow map maybe Wednesday morning. That's 48 hours prior to the event. I think that's a good time frame to do so. Right now, if you look at different model runs, one may say, oh, we're going to get 6 inches in Chattanooga. Oh, we're going to get 2 inches. Oh, we're going to get 0. There's just a lot of different solutions. So models are starting to come to a better agreement that we are going to have winter weather, but exact amounts, just not a whole lot of clarity on that just yet. So here's where we're at. We're going to really hone in on the timing and the precip type here in the next couple of days. The trend has been our friend, so it does look very likely. And of course, a couple weeks ago, we were already recognizing that this pattern was coming into place, where we were going to have below normal temperatures, where we may have a wintry event. And now it's getting closer and closer. And as we move into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, of course, we're going to have a better idea on those amounts, on county impacts, on who's going to get the most, who's going to have the highest wintry impacts, where there may be some freezing rain and sleet, where it may be more of a cold rain. So again, a lot to come over the next couple of days. So I'll have a new video every morning and keep you guys updated. But here is your 7-day forecast for the Tennessee Valley. This is for our valley locations. Going to be some flurries around today, light accumulations in some of our mountain and plateau communities. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, highs in the mid to upper 30s, overnight lows well into the 20s, because the ground is going to be cold. And then we're going to have that moisture moving in on Friday and Saturday. Could be snow, could be a mixed bag, could start as a little bit of a rain, but I do think that my confidence, if I can talk today, I swear, my confidence is starting to increase that we are going to have more of an impactful winter system coming through Friday into Saturday. So I'm going to continue to look over data, keep you updated, and let you know if there are any major changes. But go ahead and start to prepare for that. Plus, with the cold air moving in, make sure your pipes are protected. You want to wrap those outdoor exposed pipes, drip those faucets before you go to bed. All the things. Bring the pets inside. Make sure your family is protected. The plants don't need to be outside. But I definitely encourage you to bring in your pets a couple of nights this week, especially with lows being in the 20s and daytime highs in the 30s. And just go ahead and keep in the back of your mind that we could have impactful weather Friday into Saturday. Not a lot just yet, but again, confidence is continuing to increase on this Monday morning. So as the week progresses, again, we'll come back with multiple updates. I'll keep my Facebook active as well, so follow me along there. I'll put some of those links to some of the sites that I'm on in this video in the description below. So have a good Monday. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and have, again, a fantastic week.